Okay, we're here on backtrack 5. We're going to use openssl to encrypt a message. We're going to use the AES symmetric cipher, and we use RSA, which is asymmetric. We'll have a public key and private key. In fact, let's take a look. We've actually got Bob's public key here. He could have emailed it to us or put it on the web. We also have our plain text message that we want to send to we want to get this message to Bob, but we want to encrypt it. And we have our key, 12345, which will be for the AES encryption. So let's go ahead and use that AES encryption. So we call openssl, say encrypt, AES 128. And what do we want to encrypt? We want to encrypt a plain text message, and we want to generate ciphertext with it. Just like that, we type in 12345, 12345, and we've generated ciphertext, which looks kind of strange. We can use base 64 to encode it if we wish. Might make it nicer, easier to send across the network, but we won't do that today. Just showing you how. At this point, we have ciphertext. We actually want to send that to Bob. We want him to be able to decrypt it. And to decrypt it, he has to know this key. We don't want to send this clear text, so we actually want to use Bob's public key to encrypt it. Before we do that, let's see how we can encrypt our own public key and private key. We'll call genRSA. So that will generate my private key. And then we need to pull out our public key. To do that, let's make sure. Output a public key, in is my private key, out is my public key. All right, so now we have my private key and my public key. And what we would want to do next, in this case actually, we're going to use Bob's public key to encrypt the password 12345 so that we can send that to Bob, and then he will be the only one who can decrypt it, and he'll have the password 12345. Then he can use that password to decrypt the message. The original message we had, which was, that was the message. This is what it looks like now. So let's encrypt 12345 using Bob's public key. openssl, RSA, oops. I guess that help doesn't work that way, but we're going to actually, sorry, we're not using RSA anymore, we're using openssl RSA utility. Say encrypt, public key, the in key will be Bob's public key, and the file we want to encrypt is my AES, and then out will be RSA ciphertext. And if we did that correctly, beautiful, looks right. So at this point, we could send both RSA ciphertext and we could send our ciphertext. So we would send those two to Bob. And we can go ahead and do that. I put Bob's keys in a different folder. So pretend Bob's also on this machine. So we'll move RSA ciphertext to Bob's folder, and then we'll move ciphertext to Bob's folder. Switching to Bob's folder, there are his keys. So first we can use Bob's private key to decrypt this RSA message. openssl, RSA utility. And we're going to want to decrypt, but let's try this. decrypt. In key is Bob's private key. The in file is RSA ciphertext, and out will be AES password. All goes well. Got that, and there we go. We now know the password for AES. It's 12345. So we'll go back and use AES 128 CBC. In would be ciphertext. Out would be the message. It's asking for the decryption password, which we know now is 12345. 12345. And let's see if we got the original message. And there we go. Bob has received the original message. So we've used our crypto pretty well here.